Chevrolet is home of the #1 volume Chevy dealer west of Texas, and by PKWY Tavern, the official home of the Rebels on the road and the Dan Mullen Coaches Show. Here we go! Now, here's your hosts, Caleb Herring, Steve Cofield, and the voice of the Rebels, Matt Neverett.
All right, let's get it going. It's the Dan Mullen Coaches Show here from PKWY Tavern, 215 in Flamingo. UNLV getting set to take on the Wyoming Cowboys this Saturday up in Laramie. Hello, everybody, and welcome in wherever, however you may be listening or watching. Our live audience here at PKWY Tavern enjoying happy hour half-price apps from 3 to 6 in the lead-up to the show, and, of course, the $2 Miller Lights during the show. Don't forget to check in with our Learfield representatives right here on the outside. They'll be able to get you your raffle tickets. And also coming up later in the show, we'll have an Ask Coach Anything segment, along with the former Rebel quarterback, Caleb Herring. My name's Matt Neverett, Jared Justice, our on-site producer and engineer. And everybody join me in welcoming the head coach of the undefeated UNLV football team, Dan Mullen himself, the namesake of the program. Coach, undefeated through 4 games. Sounds pretty darn good, doesn't it?
It does. Sounds pretty good. You know, I mean, I give our guys a lot of credit in, what they've been able to do, right, in so far this season. I mean, we faced a lot of, different adversity in game, and you go to that last game. When you're at 3 different times during the game, we're trailing by 14. I mean, that's ridiculous. 3 different times on the road, 9 a.m. kick, East Coast time zone. Everything tells you, pack it in. Everything. And most teams I've been on, have, if you know football, been like, there's no way. Hey, they came back once, maybe came back to no way the third time. And the team didn't implode, no issues, nothing. They just kept battling, and found a way to win. I mean, no finger pointing, no nothing. Just next play, let's do our job, find a way to get it done. And, and that's how it's been for us this year. We talked to our guys all season. I mean, week 1, that seems like a long time ago, right? I mean, forever ago. But you're talking week 1, found a way to win. And should we have won? Sure. But found a way to win. There was reasons for us not to as that went on. And then, we go play, Sam Houston. I think we talk about that. It was closer than it should have been, but we took care of business. UCLA, we're kind of dominating the game, and then we kind of let them back in and have to find a way to win at the end. And, last week down, I didn't, we'd never, I guess, won in the Eastern time zone, find a way to win. And couldn't be happier with our guys for that. Every issue we have right now, it's not an attitude issue. It's not an effort issue. It's not how the team is together issue. It's not a competing issue. It's football, right? I mean, it's we overset here and the ball got tipped. The quarter, just kind of forced a read on a pick instead of letting it play out and go to the second read in the progression. We've missed. We're supposed to have a guy fit in the D gap. He jumped inside to try to make a play, and they bounce outside and walk in for a touchdown. It's all very coachable teaching things, which is a lot of fun football-wise.
Now, this week, a bye week leading up to this game against Wyoming, and the bye has kind of been the theme of the early part of the season. Two byes in the first 4 weeks of the regular season. Wanted to ask this, thinking about that Miami-Ohio game, a 3-point win, a very, very tough, hard-fought game, coming off of a bye, going on the road. Well, you're coming off of a bye and going on the road this week in Wyoming. What's maybe the main lesson or main couple of lessons that you learned from that experience, whether it's on or off the field, and something that you're going to try to apply to this week's matchup?
Well, it just, we talk with our guys, it gets to the execution. Gets to simple execution. I mean, go to the Miami of Ohio, the second half of the game, and I talk to our guys. I thought we played well offensively. I thought we played well defensively in the second half of that game. There was a pick 6 and a kickoff return for a touchdown, right? Pick 6, overset a little bit. Ball gets tipped. Happens sometimes.
Wacky play.
Yeah, and they score. We misfit a kickoff. Besides that, it was 31-0. It's not a. Now, and I look at our guys. It could have been, but in the first half, it could have been 31-0 the other way. Pretty it is. So our little attention to detail is what we talk about so much. Is the focus we have on every play. Making sure. Like we talked about the guys at halftime. Everyone's like, boy, what was that halftime speech at Miami of Ohio? It wasn't rah-rah, right? It was hey, listen, guys, just do your job. The second someone tries to do more than their job, the second someone says, oh boy, I got to win the game for us, we'll get blown out. Just everybody just do your job. It wasn't rah-rah. It was kind of a matter of fact and to the point. And we played that way. And, and it's kind of that going into this game, guys. Hey, this is the first conference game on the road. It's going to be a tough environment. It's going to be a cold weather day with the altitude or whatever, even though, right, it takes 72 hours to acclimate to the altitude. We're only there 36, so it's not going to affect us. Right? It'll have zero effect. But all of these little factors, but really what it comes down to, what it matters is, are we just doing our job on every single snap? They're a big physical team. Good. Be big physicals, be in our gap. Hey, they're really good defense. Okay, cover them up. They're physical. They run the ball. Okay, they're great. They have a great scheme. Okay, just cover them up. Just execute. Do our job. Make the right reads. Make the right blocks. And, when we've done that, we've been a very good football team.
There's a lot to be said about learning what your roster is and who you are as an identity. This undefeated start in the non-conference schedule, I think, has been one of the most adversity-filled 4 games. What have you learned about this team that you maybe can help steer them in the right direction as they start conference play?
Well, the good thing is we're tested. I think we're tested in tough game moments. That our guys are going to be ready for the stage. Wherever the moments are of the game, we're going to be focused and ready for that situation. I think that's something that's really helped, because the season really starts. This is not really the first game. I view it, and I'm not downplaying the first 4 games. I'm not, but you had training camp, 4 games in 6 weeks or whatever it was, and now it's conference games. We have 8 games in 9 weeks, all Mountain West games, and the only thing we can control is the opportunity to win a Mountain West championship. That's it. The only thing that's in our control. The rest of it is committees would pick something else. That's it, right? I've seen AP people don't even watch football pick where you are. What goes on? It's just so for us, we can control winning the Mountain West championship. So the season really starts this week, and we have got to have that focus now for this prep of this stretch of games that we're rolling into. Obviously, to me, one of a huge test in game 1, because right, Wyoming's an interesting team.
They are
right. They wins over Akron and Northern Iowa, which they won. Found they're probably looking, hey, we found a way to win. We didn't play our best, but we found a way to win. They're a 3-0 game with Utah at halftime. They're a tight game at Colorado.
Yep.
So they're sitting there saying, hey, we're right there, and now I imagine they're saying the same thing. Hey, it starts this week for us too, right? Hey, preseason's over. It all starts for us this week too. It's for real. It's conference play.
Yeah, we'll get into Wyoming as the show goes on, because I agree. Their 2-2 record doesn't really tell the story about what this Wyoming Cowboy football team can be. I want to touch back, going back to something you mentioned earlier, 3 separate 14-point deficits. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, I've never been a part of something like this, as a player, definitely not as a player, but 3 separate 14-point comebacks. 1, you ever been a part of something like that? And then 2, what does that do for a team in terms of their confidence and the ability to overcome adversity? I
think it'll bring a calm to the team. I don't know I've ever been on a team that wouldn't have imploded in that situation. Wouldn't have had a breakdown, wouldn't have had fingers being pointed in one direction or the other, wouldn't have lost confidence, right? It was kind of it was, I remember grabbing Paul after the, we go down 14 after the pick 6. And I said, hey, we were down 14.5. We came back, down, came back, down again, came back. And all of a sudden, I think when we tied it up, after in the third quarter, I think our sideline felt we're about to blow this game wide open. And all of a sudden, in the blink of the eye, we're right down to 14 again.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to come back from 14. You're looking at the clock oh boy, okay, we have got to be perfect. But I just looked. I went to look at Paul. I said, hey, we got to get rid of the offense right here. I said, just get the defense together. I said, we're going to take this drive and go score. So just make sure the mindset is When the defense goes on the field again, they're only down 7. All they need is one stop, and it'll be tied up again.
Right. And
the offense, to our credit, right down the field and scored. All of a sudden, the defense comes out, 3 and out, and get the offense the ball back, right, and all of a sudden, boom, we're right back in it again. And I think that just the coaching staff and the players, the calm of how they handled how to do that, right? Because there is no 14-point play.
Right.
So there was no, and it wasn't like, okay, we got to throw a touchdown on the first play, just bombs away. Hey, just don't panic. Just keep doing our job. If we can execute and drive, get a defensive stop, boom, and all of a sudden, it's a tie game with 5 minutes to go.
Is that one of those situations where, as a coach, when, things look bleak, again, 14 points, you tie, you go back down to 14 points, but you can kind of almost feel everything kind of connecting and everything starting to churn and work in the same direction. What is that feeling like for you, especially in your first year back after a couple years off the sideline in a game like that?
Well, all of a sudden, when we come back, I feel like we're going to blow this game open. And then I'm like, all of a sudden, I like blink, we're down 14. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? Except that
wasn't the word you chose.
I'm like, yeah. What the heck? But it was. I think in the old day, in a lot of ways, it had to start with me of making sure I stayed calm. Want to make sure Paul keep the guys calm. Hey, our players, I think they had the offensively when we got the ball, because we had just controlled the beginning of that second half so well. I think they're calm. I'm like, hey, just keep doing what we were doing. And then once we got that first touchdown, I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden, boom, 3 and out. Then the offense, you can see they're like, they're not going to stop us.
Right.
We're good to go. And then the scary one was, like to win the game. I mean, all of a sudden they hit a screen, they hit a run. Kid makes this big play, get this big play. And they're at the point where they're just going to run the clock out, kick the game-winning field goal. And we make the, Jaheim Joseph, punching that ball out perfectly.
Play of the game for sure.
It was. And, the great thing, he's like, Coach, he came over, told the coach the series before, said the last time he broke in the secondary, you see he has the ball loose, I'm going to get the angle to punch it out. Called it, right? And then if you go watch the film, there's a ball laying there, and there's about 5 people with a chance to get it. 1 UNLV player, 4 Miami of Ohio players. And Marcel McDuffie comes up with the ball. And the second that happened, like, the offense went on the field, and, there was a confidence that, hey, we're going to go, let's go right down the field and go score to win it.
Yeah, the body control from Marcel on that play was insane. I remember we were up in the booth, and that ball's on the ground, and it felt like it was in slow motion.
It was frozen. The ball was frozen,
like
and everybody's falling all over it, and it's like, somebody please get on the ball. And Marcel clutched, as always, as he's been over the last couple of weeks in his breakout year. We'll talk a little bit about him later on, but amazing clutch play by Joseph and by McDuffie.
And we had said, too, not only that second half of that game, probably as fun a game in the college level that I've ever called. That was such a fun game, especially for like a neutral third party to be watching it on ESPN.
Oh, you want an entertaining game. I mean, it was.
I know
everything.
Your blood pressure was probably up and down on the roller coaster. But
I mean, it was. It was something, right? I mean, it was fun to be. It was certainly fun to find a way to win that game. And it obviously it kind of continues to build on this team's confidence.
We'll talk a little bit more about some of the big adjustments in that game. Also want to talk about some of the top defensive performers. Kind of glad we ended there with that big-time game sealing just about play for UNLV. We'll talk about the defense. We'll talk about Anthony Calandre. We'll talk about Jet Thomas and more. Don't forget, for our live audience, you can submit your question for Ask Coach Anything. Our Learfield representatives right out here on the patio. We're at Parkway Tavern, 215 in Flamingo for the Dan Mullen Coaches Show. Back with more next on the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield.
Too much of the same thing getting you down. Your prescription for fun and excitement? The South Point Hotel and Casino. See a live show, enjoy a first-run movie, go bowling, indulge in great food, 11 restaurants.